Hi, this is 911. Your phone dialed. Is everything okay?
No, ma'am. I'm sitting with a guy. He said he shot somebody, but I'm waiting on the bus. Y'all got to come and see him.
What did he say happened?
He said he shot somebody.
Okay.
He's right here on Peru and Delaware. He said he shot his girl or something. I don't know. But ma'am, I'm waiting on the bus. He's sitting right here.
Okay.
He's got the driver's side door open. We have not made contact. Oh!
If he doesn't go low, we'll try and just keep eyeball.
Drop the weapon! Drop your weapon! Drop your weapon! Drop it! Now! Shots fired! Shots fired! Control! Shots fired! Please action shooting!
2224, where are they at?
Tell them to hold off, please. Control, hold the radio, please. Jesus.
All right, here's what I want to do.
Go down trend, go down trend.
Yeah, he does have a handgun under him. I can see it. He does have a handgun under him. He does have a handgun under him.
Key. Yeah, come on.
We got key.
I shot the in her face. Y'all want to shoot me in the leg?
Just in case.
The public in general deserve to hear all the evidence, figure out what happened.
Danger. 2 years ago, Deputy Durm was strangled in the Sally Port of the jail after returning inmate Orlando Mitchell from a checkup at Eskenazi Hospital. The attack was captured here on security video.
This video contains discussion of real-life violence and domestic violence, which some viewers may find disturbing. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. This video may include images, audio, or video clips used for educational and commentary purposes under Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act, fair use. On a September morning in 2022, parents were doing what they always do, dropping their children off at daycare. But outside a child care center on the west side of Indianapolis, a mother was hunted down and executed in broad daylight. Her name was Krystal Walton. The man accused of killing her? The father of her child, Orlando Mitchell. But that wasn't the end of the violence. Less than a year later, while awaiting trial inside the Marion County Jail, Mitchell would kill again. This time, a veteran law enforcement officer, Deputy John Durm, during an escape attempt. 2 murders, 2 devastated families, and a case that raises serious questions about domestic violence protection, jail security, and how warning signs can be missed. This is the full story. Crystal Walton was 32 years old, a mother, described as protective, driven, and focused on her children. She had been in a relationship with Orlando Mitchell, a relationship that, according to court records, had become volatile. At some point prior to the shooting, Walton obtained a protective order against Mitchell. That detail becomes critical later. Protective orders are designed to create distance. But in many domestic violence cases, paper restrictions don't stop obsession. The location: Charity Church Child Care in Indianapolis. It was morning drop-off time. Walton had just dropped off her children and was walking back to her vehicle. According to prosecutors, Mitchell had been waiting, armed. When Walton approached her car, Mitchell opened fire. Multiple shots rang out in broad daylight in a parking lot filled with families and children. Witnesses described panic, screaming, parents shielding their kids. Walton was struck multiple times and died at the scene. Mitchell fled on foot carrying a rifle. Police responded quickly. When officers located him, he reportedly refused commands and was shot and wounded before being taken into custody. The brazenness of the shooting shocked the city. This wasn't a hidden crime. It happened in public, in daylight, at a daycare, and many asked the same question. If there was a protective order in place, how did it escalate to this? Mitchell was charged with murder in Walton's death. Prosecutors described the killing as targeted and intentional. Court filings suggested he violated the protective order by being near Walton that day. While awaiting trial, he was housed at the Marion County Adult Detention Center in Indianapolis. For many, it seemed the system was working. He was behind bars. But what happened next would expose another vulnerability. On July 10th, 2023, Mitchell was transported from jail for a medical appointment. Deputy John Durm, 61 years old, was assigned to transport duty. Durm was a veteran officer, a father, a public servant nearing retirement. Transporting inmates is routine, but it's also one of the most dangerous assignments in corrections. According to investigators, Mitchell was restrained during the transport. At some point, he allegedly used the chain of his handcuffs to strangle Deputy Durm inside the transport vehicle. Durm was overpowered. Mitchell then reportedly located the deputy's handcuff key, freed himself, and attempted escape. He managed to get into the transport van and drive off, crashing it before being apprehended again. Deputy Durm died from his injuries. 2 families, 2 separate murders, 1 defendant. In 2025, Mitchell was convicted for the murder of Krystal Walton. He was sentenced to 66 years in prison for that killing. But the case involving Deputy Durm is separate, and prosecutors have sought the death penalty in connection with the deputy's killing. Capital cases move slowly. Motions, mental evaluations, appeals. The legal process can take years. For the families, justice is a long road.
33-year-old Orlando Mitchell sat in a wheelchair and looked around the courtroom as the judge read the charges of murder, invasion of privacy, and unlawful possession of a firearm. Mitchell is charged with shooting Crystal Walton, the mother of his 1-year-old son, outside a daycare at 10th and Holmes as she dropped off children about 7:30 a.m. September 16th. At least 3 witnesses heard the gunshots and saw Mitchell run from the scene. Mitchell's mother told police that her son had told her if he couldn't see his son, she wasn't going to be in his life either, referring to Crystal. About 3 hours later, Mitchell and his red Dodge Avenger were spotted near 10th and Delaware. Officers saw Mitchell holding a rifle and ordered him to drop the weapon. Mitchell allegedly refused, and officers fired their guns, hitting Mitchell in the leg. Police body cam video recorded Mitchell admitting multiple times that he shot Walton. Just a day before Walton was killed, an arrest warrant for Mitchell was issued for violating a no-contact order and threatening her. Mitchell allegedly forced his way into a home wanting to pick up his son on August 6th. That no-contact order was part of a plea agreement reached in July this year for a domestic battery conviction in March 2021. Charges of strangling a pregnant woman, confinement, and intimidation were dismissed as part of the deal. And just 16 days before Walton was killed, a probation violation and arrest warrant on that original case were issued against Mitchell.
It's obvious that the ball was dropped, and I'm saying that in a candid way, right? The ball was dropped somewhere. I don't want to point the finger, but they know the system failed. They know there was a failure somewhere, right?
Crystal's family is now committed to helping women who are victims of domestic violence. And in those previous cases, Mitchell allegedly told Walton to get rid of the baby when she was pregnant with his son. And he threatened her life in March last year and then again in August of this year. Court records say Walton was no longer allowing Mitchell to see their son.
Learning more about what happened leading up to the death of a Marion County Sheriff's deputy.
An inmate killed Deputy John Durm on July 10th as Durm was transporting him from a medical appointment. And today, the Sheriff's Office showed us video of the incident itself. Our Rachel Wilkerson was in the room.
Rachel, what are we learning from that video, and what is the Sheriff's Office now saying?
Well, the 14-minute video shows the moments until the deadly attack between inmate Orlando Mitchell and Deputy John Durm inside the Sally Port. The sheriff says staffing and transport policies were broken, but says it shouldn't have cost Deputy Durm his life.
The lack of staff has led right up to the very cycle we were afraid of. Less manpower leads to deputies taking on more responsibilities, which leads to an increased risk, which can lead to tragedy.
WRTV is showing portions of the surveillance video leading up to the attack. We'll start with video from Eskenazi Hospital. It shows Orlando Mitchell, while he was there for a medical appointment, manipulating his leg shackles and cuffs shortly before getting back into Deputy John Durham's jail wagon. Once they return to the jail, video from the Sally Port shows Mitchell attacking Deputy Durm with his body chain and cuffs when Durm opens the back door. The sheriff's office says Mitchell strangled the deputy for around 2 minutes before escaping. Durham was found lying on the ground by a Cumberland police officer.
Hey! While understaffing and complacency may not be solely to blame for Deputy Durham's death, they have played some role in it. Those circumstances set the stage for Orlando Mitchell's attack, and now we are tasked with doing everything in our power to rectify the failures to prevent any further harm.
Sheriff Kerry Forstall says 2 deputies who were also returning to the jail with prisoners were fired following the incident, Deputies Steve Monday and Danielle Knight. He says a decision hasn't been made regarding the civilian employees who were supposed to be watching the cameras at the time. Forstall says staffing and transport policies were broken.
The 2 deputies should have accompanied him to Eskenazi when he was charged with murder.
MCSO jail policies also state inmates should be handcuffed behind their back. Mitchell was handcuffed in the front.
Immediate remedial measures, including our training academy staff providing additional belly chain retraining, and they will also conduct complacency training soon. We are renewing our request for cameras for the adult detention center transport wagons.
Nearly 200 inmates are in custody at the Marion County Jail for murder. The sheriff's office made changes that went into effect in July to better protect the safety of deputies during transports. That includes never being alone or unarmed.
Inmates needing off-site medical services are now required to be evaluated by the jail's contracted physician beforehand, and they must have documented reasons as to why the procedure can't be provided at the jail.
And Rachel, I know the sheriff also told you that the department is severely short-staffed right now?
It is. The department is short around 150 deputies. It also has around 200 inmates in jail for murder. The sheriff says he's looking into changing their jumpsuits from orange to red to serve as a reminder of their murder charge.
A Marion County judge said the system failed an Indianapolis woman who was shot and killed by the father of her baby.
So the judge gave that father, Orlando Mitchell, the maximum sentence for murdering Crystal Walton. He gunned her down outside a daycare on the west side of Indianapolis. Our Rich Nye was in the courtroom for that sentencing today, and tonight shares reaction from her family.
A camera was not allowed in the courtroom for Orlando Mitchell's sentencing. This video is from a previous court hearing. This is video of Crystal Walton's family and friends who filled the gallery Tuesday.
We want everybody to remember, to know that Crystal was very well loved then, now, and forever. She'll never, ever be forgotten.
In September 2022, Mitchell ambushed Walton, shooting her in the face after she dropped off her 2 kids at Charity Child Care on West 10th Street in Hawville. Mitchell ignored the protective order Walton had in place for an alleged strangling incident in March 2021 when Walton was pregnant with their son. In that case, Mitchell took a plea agreement for domestic battery with 1 day in jail and 1 year probation.
As this trial is ending, we're also able to see the effect that it'll have on the community. And hopefully lawmakers, judges will come together and start making better decisions as far as the laws and making stiffer penalties so we can prevent some of these senseless murders.
The judge gave Mitchell 66 years in prison for murder and invasion of privacy.
In giving Mitchell the maximum sentence, Judge Charles Miller said that during the trial, Mitchell seemed to take pride and delight in what he did. The judge said that he believed that Mitchell was happy that the murder was caught on security camera for an audience to watch.
Mitchell next faces another murder trial for the strangulation death of Deputy John Durm while in custody in July 2023. That is a death penalty case.
Hopefully compounding with that, we'll be looking at a death penalty. I'm praying for it every day. Along with that, I'm praying that I'm alive to see him take his last breath.
That trial is scheduled for August of next year. Rich Nye, 13 News.
The executive director of Charity Child Care also testified today. She said that Mitchell took away the sanctity of a place that more than 300 children call home every single day. And she said that corner of Hawville will never be the same.
In both killings, the common thread is escalation, a relationship breakdown, public execution, custody, then a deadly escape attempt. Violence didn't de-escalate once he was incarcerated. It evolved. Crystal Walton's children lost their mother. Deputy John Durm's family lost a husband and father. Community members lost a sense of security. This wasn't just a crime story. It was a chain reaction of trauma. The Orlando Mitchell case is a reminder of how quickly domestic violence can turn fatal, and how even after arrest, danger doesn't always end. If you can relate to this story, please like, comment, and subscribe. My sincere condolences to both the family of Crystal Walton and Deputy Durm.